What's going on? And welcome back to another episode of Unbound. We got a jam packed episode for you today covering the latest in politics, crime, entertainment, and health. From the government shutdown and high profile legal battles to shocking incidents across the country. We'll break down the details with you and what you need to know. We also dive into celebrity updates, including Bad Bunny, Dolly Parton, Zach Bryan, and Zelda Williams. Zelda Williams' important plea regarding AI deepfakes of her late father, Robin Williams. And for our wellness segment, we explore a groundbreaking study on sleep profiles and what they revealed about your health and lifestyle and cognition. Stay tuned until the end of the critical reminders on mental health and domestic violence resources every listener should know. Also, I would like to welcome our regular co-host, Revelations. How you doing, Revelation?
Normal.
All right, all right, all right. Happy Wednesday, everybody. It's Wednesday the 8th, 2025, and we're about to dive into this episode. We got um, many segments tonight. They're all broken down into smaller segments today. It shouldn't take us long to go through them. Um, the first one is Trump's threatens officials over National Guard deployment. We got updates on the escalating political standoffs in Washington. Um, let's just dive right in. We got so much. Uh, there's no need to take a pause. So let's continue. So the first thing is Trump escalates jail. Trump escalates that jail. They should jail the officials who resist him. President Trump has once again set off a political firestorm. This time, calling for the jailing of state and local officials who oppose his National Guard troops deployments. The controversy erupted after Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker and Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson pushed back against Trump's recent order to deploy Guard troops in Chicago. The move, part of Trump's broader law and order initiative, is meant to assist federal immigration enforcement and respond to violent crime in major cities. But local leaders, are calling it unconstitutional, and now legal and political tensions are rising fast. In a truth social media, Trump wrote, "The Chicago mayor should be in jail for failing to protect ICE officers." Governor Pritzker also said, "It's it's the kind of blunt, explosive rhetoric that has defined his presidency. Uh, it's already drawn fierce backlash. Illinois and Chicago have filed lawsuit to block the federal order, citing the 10th Amendment, which limits the Washington power over state governance. Meanwhile, a federal judge in Oregon has already issued a temporary injunction against a similar deployment in Portland, referencing the Posse Comitatus Act, which we talked about on Monday, which restricts using the military for domestic policing. Make sure you check that episode out, episode 15. Legal experts say Trump threats to jail elected officials for resisting federal commands cross into dangerous constitutional territory. There's no criminal statute being violated there or here. The opposition itself isn't illegal. Still, the threat alone could have chilling effect on state and local leaders, sending a message that political defiance may come with personal consequences. Supporters of the president argue that local leaders have allowed chaos, immigration violation, and violent crime to spiral out of control, claiming Trump is finally doing what others wouldn't. But critics see something else, a test of how far executive power can reach before it starts breaking democratic norms. According to the new to a new Guardian poll, nearly 6 out of 10 Americans believe that military should only be used for external threats, not domestic law enforcement. The statistics underscores how uneasy much of the country feels about troops patrolling U.S. streets. The real question is not just legal but moral. What happens to democracy when disagreement itself is treated like a crime? Are we watching a political standoff or the early signs of a constitutional crisis? As the court as the courts prepare to weigh in, this showdown between Washington and the states could redefine the limits of presidential authority and determine whether law and order becomes a shield for justice or a weapon for control. Here's my discussion questions about this topic. Should a sitting president ever have the power to jail elected officials who oppose their federal orders? What do you think?
It's, it directly harms their state and or city. Um, then yeah, I would assume so. And I mean, in the case of Chicago, the mayor is kind of letting crime run rampant because he directly is just he's not funding the police, and as a direct result, he's like he direct like he instead of funding them, he took funds away and used it to build, like, I forget what he used it to build. And not only that, when they arrest people, the district attorneys just turn around and are like, "Oh yeah, you can, just you can go back out." So half of the time they don't even bother arresting people because they know it's not even worth it. So he literally is just causing crime basically to happen in his city. So he's literally the direct result of why they are going in there.
Yeah.
So it if a mayor or a governor is acting like that, then yes.
Is
I mean,
Trump
that's my take on it.
Okay, okay. Good. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. We always read them, so let us know what you think about these questions after we're done. Is Trump enforcing accountability or blurring the lines between authority and intimidation? What I got over here is actions that threaten legal consequences for officials who disagree politically can appear more like intimidation than legitimate enforcement. Accountability could come through lawful impartial process like courts or oversight committees, not unilateral executive action. Blurring this line risks undermining democracy because it shifts enforcement from rule of law to personal power. What do you think of my answer?
Yeah.
How much military presence inside of our own borders is too much? And where should that line be drawn? What we got so far over here is that the Posse Comitatus Act limits the use of the military of domestic law enforcement, with exceptions for emergencies. Too much military presence, especially in non-crisis situation, risks creating a perception of martial law and intimidation. A general rule: military intervention should be limited, proportional, and legal justified, with local and state authorities in the loop. Otherwise, it erodes civil liberties. And then my final question to this topic, and finally, do you think states like Illinois have the right to say no to federal troops deployment on their soil. This goes to a good friend that says this all the time. Yes and no. Governors control the National Guard unless federalized. However, if the federal government deploys active duty military, states have a very limited power to refuse. Federal authority generally supersedes, right? Sup- supersedes the state's opposition. Still, political pushback and legal challenges are tools states in that can use to check perceived overreach. The tension between state sovereignty and federal authority is a recurring constitutional debate. So, bottom line, the U.S. system is designed to prevent the executive branch from using force or legal power to punish political opposition. Maintaining clear lines between accountability and intimidation between civil law and military force is critical for democracy. So that's what we got so far on that. We're gonna move on to the next now, which is the IRS now is on pause. So nearly half of the workforce right now is still on furlough as shutdown deepens this second week so far. The U.S. government shutdown is now spilling into America's financial bloodstream. The Internal Revenue Service, as of this week, the IRS announced that it will furlough nearly of its employees, leaving millions of taxpayers in limbo and further straining at already a tense standoff in Washington. According to the agency updated contingency plan, roughly 39,000 IRS employees, about 46 of them, about 46 of the total workforce, are being sent home without pay. That means fewer people answering phones, slower refund processing, even audit work grinding to a halt. Only essential operations such as safeguarding taxpayer data and maintaining critical computer systems will continue during the shutdown. For the first few days so far, the IRS tried to keep itself running by using leftover funds from the Inflation Reduction Act, money earmarked to modernize the agency technology and strengthen enforcement. But those reserves have now run dry, and without congressional funding, the IRS simply can't pay most of it. They can't pay most of the workers to keep the system afloat. The timing couldn't be worse. The furloughs come just millions of Americans are trying to resolve tax extensions, payments disputes, and small business filing before the end of the fiscal year. That means delays. Lots of them for refunds, correspondence, and tax processing. For taxpayers counting on those funds, this shutdown isn't just political, it's personal. But the real controversy isn't just about the furloughs. It's about pay. The IRS notified employees that under the Government Employee Fair Treatment Act of 2019, they're supposed to receive back pay once the shutdown ends. However, the Trump administration has signaled uncertainty about that guarantee, with some officials suggesting that back pay could depend on future appropriations. That stance contradicts the 2019 law, and it's sparking new outrage across the federal workforce. Critics call it another attempt to pressure federal employees into silence, while unions warn it could push thousands of workers towards financial crises before the standoff is even resolved. Economists are also sounding the alarm. Each week, the government remains shut down, drains billions from the economy, delays loan processing, and disrupts private sector contracts that depend on federal tax coordination. The longer it lasts, the deeper damage, not only to wallets but public trusts. And that's the biggest issue here: trust. When a government agency that processes trillions in revenue and has to send half of its people home, the ripple effect touches every level of the system. It calls into question the stability of basic institutions, the ones that keep the economy running in the background, quietly but constantly. This shutdown is no longer just a political chess match. It's a test of resilience, of how long essential services can hold the line before public patience runs out. And as one former IRS official put it, Quote, every day we're close as a day uh, the American people lose faith in their government's ability to function. Now, my ending discussion questions about this topic. Should federal workers, should federal workers, oh, sorry about that. Should federal workers be guaranteed back pay after every shutdown, no matter how long it lasts? What do we got?
I don't think so on that one.
Even though they
Because,
passed a law that they could?
well, you figure they're paid by the government, and if the government runs out of money, you know what I mean? It's just like anybody else. If you're paid by a company and your company runs out of money, uh, you're only going to be paid until that company's reserves are dry. And then they're not going to be able to pay anyone anymore. It's not necessarily fair that, to the rest of the people working that, like I hate to say that, but not like they shouldn't get preferential treatment just because they work for the government.
So the people that run like the air controllers, they shouldn't get payback.
I mean, don't get me wrong, they should get the paid payment back for the time that they've lost, but if like it's a private thing that is licensed under the government, then no. Because a lot of times the government will license out things.
Yeah, because that's a federal
And
job.
yeah, and it will still be
Because I
labeled
think
as
it's
a
the
federal
FAA or something
job.
like that.
Then those people shouldn't. But if it's a direct federal job, like the mail or whatnot, then yes. But if you're just a private company that has gotten a contract from
The
the
federal
the
government.
government,
Mm-hmm.
then no, 100% you shouldn't.
All right. All right. It said, next question. Is it ethical for government to use workers as leverage in political battles they can't afford?
No. That's like using your kids as fucking leverage in a goddamn divorce.
Good, good, good. That's a good answer. How much damage does each shutdown do to the public's faith in government? Does that damage ever really heal?
People forget about it all the time.
Yeah, yeah, it's America. Next question. If nearly half of the IRS goes dark, who's really hurt more, the politician or the people they represent?
I resort to my previous answer. People just fucking forget about it. Like once it starts back up, I give it maybe half a month. People are just gonna be like, whatever. As soon as they get that money, they're not gonna give a shit.
That's a facts. The people may bear the brunt, but fewer IRS workers means lower tax processing, delayed refunds, and less support for taxpayers. Politicians may feel pressure from constituents, but the immediate consequences, financial stress, confusion, and lost services fall on everyday American. Lawmakers may suffer political later, but the public suffers first and the worst. Um, Moving on to the next segment. Let me know what you guys think
Which
about that.
hold on,
Go ahead.
which not only that, but that also leads me into my article. Which due to the government shutdown, a government program called SNAP has been given a deadline for when it will run out of money. they will no longer be given any funding. That will be the 1st of November. So if anyone is on that, or is on that, they will no longer be receiving any more benefits. And that is a nationwide thing, not just a region locked thing like East Coast, West Coast, Central, or anything like that. It's nationwide.
Well, damn, people are screwed. Moving to the next segment. Shutdown enters week 2. Capital tensions rise as government remains dark. Wait, did I move too soon? I did move too soon. You guys, don't mind that. That's gonna be the next segment after this one. We're going back to Comey's plea not guilty for the Trump DOJ versus former FBI Director James Comey. In what many view as one of the boldest legal maneuvers yet in the Trump era push against political adversaries, former FBI Director James Comey has formally entered a not guilty plea to the federal charges accusing him of lying to Congress. The case sprang from his 2020 Senate Judiciary Committee testimony, where Comey denied having authorized unnamed FBI sources to speak to the media about probes involving Donald Trump or Hillary Clinton. The indictment asserts that this statement was false and further charges him with obstructing a congressional proceeding. During a brief arraignment at the federal courthouse in Alexandria, Virginia, Comey answered, "I do, Your Honor," when asked if he understood the charges. He was not detained. He's been released pending trial without bond. Judge Michael S. Nachmanoff, the jurist assigned to the case, he tentatively scheduled the trial to begin January 5th, 2026. However, that is not set in stone. Defense motions and procedural challenges could shift timelines. Comey's legal team has already signaled two major lines of defense, like political motivation and vindictive prosecution. They will argue this indictment is part of a broader pattern, weaponization of the Department of Justice to go after Trump's critics. Improper appointment, the judge may be asked to throw out charges based on an argument that the prosecutors assigned to bring the case, Lindsay Halligan, was appointed in violation of norms and without career DOJ backing. The defense has already filed notices indicating it will press for dismissal motions before trial, alleging prosecutional overreach and arguing that procedural role. Man, can't speak English today. I'm so sorry about that, guys. Procedural rules were not properly observed. Sorry. This is the first time a former FBI director has been criminally charged in this kind of case. It's unfolding amid escalating controversies over the independence of Justice Department. The indictment itself was filed shortly after Trump publicly pressured DOJ officials to pursue Comey and seek a sequence that critics say undermines the idea of a fair, arm's-length legal process. Career prosecutors in the Virginia U.S. Attorney's Office reportedly expressed concerns about the strength of evidence and only to be replaced. If convicted, Comey could face prison time. The prospect of conviction or dismissal will be taken by many as a symbolic judgment, not just on him, but on political norms, prosecutorial direction, and whether justice remains a blind ideal, a tool of the powerful. My end in discussing questions for this. Can the DOJ credibly prosecute former FBI Director James Comey without tainting the independence of the justice system?
And if there's credible evidence, there's credible evidence.
Yeah, true, true. It's extremely challenging, though. When cases involving a high profile political figure, the perception of bias can be just as damaging as actual misconduct. The DOJ must follow transparency procedures, rely on strong evidence, and avoid any appearance of political motivation. Even with perfect adherence to the law, critics may still claim partisanship, so maintaining credibility is a delicate balance. That's what we got over here. The next question is it possible this case is more about symbolism than substance? A warning to other critics? What do you think?
I don't really know on that one.
We got over here that it is a yes. High profile prosecutions often send a political or symbolic message beyond the legal merits of the case. Charging a former FBI director could be interpreted as a signal no one is untouchable, or as a warning to others who might challenge the administration. The risk is that symbolic cases can appear politically motivated, undermining public confidence in justice. The next question is what role should procedural rules and prosecutorial norms play when high stakes political charge cases arise? Procedural rules and norms are crucial. They act as a safeguard against abuse, ensuring that even most political sensitive cases are handled fairly. This includes due process, recusal of potentially biased prosecutors, evidence standards, and judicial oversight. Upholding these norms protect both the defendant and the integrity of the justice system. And then my final question, if the case is dismissed or delayed, what message does that send about the limits of power and accountability in America? Did you want to answer that one, or did you want to see what we had here?
Let's see what we got.
A dismissal of long delay can be interpreted in multiple ways. It could signal that political consideration can't override legal safeguards, reinforcing rules of law. And then conversely, critics might argue it shows the difficulty of holding high level officials accountable, highlighting the limits of power. Either way, the outcome shares public perception of justice, accountability, and the independence of institutions. That's what we got. That's all we got. We're flying right through these tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Uh, Now moving on to the following segment. Shutdown enters week 2 now. Capital tension rise as government remains dark. As the federal government shuts down, stretches into the second week now. Washington is in the state of paralysis with no clear resolution in sight. The political deadlock has led to significant disruptions in government services, economic uncertainty, and heightened tensions among lawmakers. Congress remains gridlocked with repeated votes to reopen the government failing to garner the necessary support. Senate procedural motions are stalled while the House stays in recess. A strategy by GOP leadership to put pressure on Senate Democrats. Capitol tours are halted. The corridors are eerily quiet. Behind closed doors, however, quiet conversations are underway between various lawmakers from both sides, but no public breakthrough has surfaced yet. At the center of the standoff, Affordable Care Act tax credits extensions, Democrats insist any funding bills must include protections for millions whose health insurance subsidization is at risk. Republicans say they won't give into that demand before reopening the government. Meanwhile, President Trump has threatened mass firings of the federal workers, like we talked about, and pushed against the idea of guaranteed payback for those furloughs. Um, some national impact and warning signs. Economic drag. A White House memo warns that the country could lose 15 billion in GDP per week of the shutdown if the shutdown continues. Disruption in services. Agencies are curtain lining uh, operations. Air flight delays are growing as staffing thinnens, and federal programs that many rely on are being delayed or suspended. Hundreds of thousands of federal employees face weeks without pay. Even essential workers are doing their jobs but won't see paychecks until shutdown concludes, and even that guarantee being contested by the administration now, like we talked about. Political gamemanship funding of Democratic led states has been frozen, effectively punishing regions that disagree. And why does this matter? You might be thinking a shutdown of this magnitude is not routine. This is not a routine inconvenience. The people who rely on federal programs, Social Security, health care support, food assistance, infrastructure maintenance, like our Sir Revelation here was talking about, are all vulnerable. Longer shutdowns erode trust in democratic institutions. They turn political brinkmanship into real world hardship. If Americans can't depend on the government to function when needed, what does that say about our system? It's not enough to hope funding will return soon. The public needs to hear honest assessments. This standoff can last weeks or more. The damage will mount with each passing day. Knowing that allows citizens to plan, to pressure representatives, and to understand how deeply, political drama is affecting everyday life. My ending discussion to this is: should Congress ever use essential services and federal workers as leverage in their budget fights? I think we talked about that already, so we don't need to answer that one. At what point does political standoff cross into negligence towards public welfare? I think, again, did we talk about this one yet? We didn't really answer this question. We just answered that people are going to be screwed because they're shutting off their SNAP benefits on the 1st of November, correct?
Yes.
What do you got on that?
Um, Honestly, I don't really know.
Well,
Like that's a tough one to answer.
as a standoff becomes negligence when it directly harms citizens' safety, finances, and access to essential services, delaying funding for things like Social Security, healthcare programs, or air traffic control puts lives in livelihoods at risk. Lawmakers have a duty to prevent avoidable harm, even amid political disagreements. That's what we got over here. The next question is: how should the government handle back pay and financial recovery after a prolonged shutdown? Federal workers should be guaranteed back pay, ideally immediately upon reopening. Additionally, programs could be put into place to minimize financial disruption, such as emergency loans or automatic reimbursement for loss over time and benefits. Uh, pro- uh, Protecting employees from the fallout ensures fairness and preserves morale. Um, and number four, our last question to this topic: if this shutdown continues, what services or communities will be hit the hardest, and how do we hold leaders accountable? Well, we already know that services like tax processing, National Guards, and visa processing may stall. Vulnerable communities relying on food assistance, housing programs, or federal health care will face real hardship. Accountability comes through public scrutiny, media coverage, and elections, along with legal procedural checks that remind leaders their actions have consequences. So there's that. You guys let me know in the comment sections what you guys think, and then we'll touch base on it. I wonder how this live looks, as I'm getting a ton of errors over here.
Are you sure?
Huh?
Are you sure?
That's what it's showing over here. Let me see. All right. Sorry about that. I didn't mean to be that quiet that long. I just wanted to make sure everything is working. So far, it looks okay. I'm gonna have to watch this live later on today. But it's all right. It's all right. At least we know everything is going. All right. Moving on to the next. Wisconsin man sentenced for smuggling lab equipment to Russian companies. I don't know if you guys heard about that. I think I heard that over the summer, if I'm not mistaken. Or it might have been another guy. In a notable legal development, Andrew Pogosian, Pogosian, I don't know if the other O is quiet or not. A 68-year-old from Madison, Wisconsin, is a resident and U.S. citizen originally from, Yeah, so he's a resident of Madison, Wisconsin, and U.S. citizen originally from Russia. He's been sentenced to 1 year and 1 day in federal prison, along with a $10,000 fine for violating U.S. trade sanctions by smuggling laboratory equipment to Russian companies. The sentencing took place on October 7, 2025, in U.S. District Courts, presided over by Judge William Conley. Pogosian, operating through his company Omega Diagnostics LLC, exported lab equipment between September 2022 and early 2023. Some of the recipients were involved in chemical research for the Russian military, making the shipments subject to strict U.S. sanctions enacted in February 2022. To evade detention, Pogosian used transshipment routine equipment through countries like Kazakh, Kazakh, Kazakhstan,
Kazakhstan.
Uzbekistan, Turkey, Latvia, and Lithuania.
So he committed treason, is what I'm hearing.
Yeah. Before reaching Russia, these taxis are designed to mask the true destination and circumvent U.S. exports laws, which require licenses for shipping sensitive items to sanctioned entities. Federal prosecutors emphasized that this was a deliberate effort to bypass U.S. sanctions, which are intended to prevent sensitive technologies from supporting adversarial military or chemical programs. In July of 2025 of this year, Pogosian pleaded guilty to 1 count of conspiracy to defraud the United States and 3 counts of smuggling goods. Despite facing maximum sentence of 35 years, Judge Conley imposed 1 year and 1 day, noting that there was no evidence the equipment was ultimately used for military purpose. Defense attorney William Cofield argued Pogosian did not fully grasp the legal implications and believed the equipment was for medical and environmental research, not military implications. The judge also considered his.
Yes, let's send this chemical laboratory equipment that I willingly develop and I must send it over via different countries in a you know mislabeled ship to the Russian Federation military, that so it will totally not be used in for military purposes. Fucking retarded judge.
Uh,
Swear to God.
the judge also considered his cooperation with authorities in reaching a guilty plea. The slightly longer than 1 year sentence allows for good behavior reductions and the fine of 10,000. Whoa, it says 10,000 or 10 million. They put another comma in there, but there's no more zeros. Let's go with it's just as 10,000. 10,000, while substantial, reflects the financial legal balancing involved in such cases. Broader implications. This highlights several important issues. Dual use technology risks. Equipment with civilian applications can sometimes be repurposed for military use, making export controls critical. Sanctions enforcement. The U.S. Government is demonstrating that even individual actors attempting to circumvent sanctions will face prosecution. Transshipment loopholes, routine through third party countries, show the complexity of monitoring global supply chains and enforcing export regulations. Business compliance. Legitimate exporters must ensure they understand licensing requirements and track and use of of products to avoid criminal liability. Experts stress that even seemingly minor violations can have serious consequences. Professor Elena Sokolov of Georgetown University noted, quote, even if equipment isn't directly used for military purposes, its transfer to a sanctioned countries poses risk. The U.S. must remain vigilant. So end quote there. Legal analysis also point out that while the sentencing is relatively short, it sends a strong deterrent message about seriousness of sanctioned compliance. So key takeaways here: exporting dual use equipment without proper licenses can carry criminal penalties even if the items seem harmless. Attempting to circumvent sanctions through third party countries does not protect against prosecution. Vigilance is crucial. U.S. authorities are increasingly able to track, investigate, and prosecute illegal exports, even when they involve complex shipping schemes. In conclusion, though, here, Andrew Pogosine sentencing is a clear reminder that U.S. trade laws are strictly enforced while mitigating factors prevent a maximum penalty. The case underscores the national security implication of sensitive technology transfers and the government's commitment to sanctions enforcement. Even a single shipment of lab equipment routed through multiple countries can carry international consequences, criminal liability, and national security concerns. Business and individuals alike must recognize the ignorance of or attempts to bypass regulations will not shield them from prosecution. This case is a microcosm of the border efforts to maintain control over dual technologies, ensure sanctions are effective, and protect national security interests. An ongoing challenge in globalized, interconnected world. So here's my discussion questions, ladies and gentlemen. What's going on here? My question to you is: do you think Pogosine 1 year sentence is too lenient, too harsh, or appropriate given the circumstances? And I mean, we already heard Revelations here. Revelations, give us again the good twist on this.
He knew exactly what he was doing, and that judge was an idiot. Like he, that the evidence was directly there. Just granted, he was making chemicals perfectly reasonable. Like, but then we all know there were sanctions on Russia because of their, war with Ukraine. So then you send it through a, you know, different labeled, on different labeled containers other than what the thing actually is, through different countries, so that don't have sanctions on Russia, so they can legally get it into Russia, and it then goes into the hands of what you actually destined it for, the Russian Federation military, so that they can start using chemical laboratory equipment. Like, my guy, you're the dumbest judge ever at this point in time. Somebody put you before the ethics committee, strip you of everything you have, and put you and just go to jail. Do not collect $200. Do not pass go.
Yeah, right. How can U.S. authorities improve monitoring of dual use technology exports without stifling legitimate research and commerce? What we got over here, strengthening licensing and reporting requirements for sensitive technology, invest in advanced screening and auditing tools, offer guidance in training to research and companies, foster international corporation to track shipment and share intelligence, ensuring legitimate research isn't overly burdened. And then the next question is, should companies be held strictly liable for unknowingly exporting sensitive technology, or should intent matter more in sentencing?
That last one is tricky because is it either the company or the person in those cases? And that one, in this particular case, it is the person.
You can just tell. The next question will be, what are the risks and ethical considerations when civilian technology could be repurposed for military use in sanctioned countries? What we got over here so far is strengthening adversaries' military capabilities, which could endanger U.S. and allied forces, reputational damage for companies. Ethically, companies and governments must weigh the benefits of technological progress against potential harm, considering, sorry about that, considering both national security and humanitarian consequences. And sorry, there is a final question. How should global supply chains adapt to prevent smuggling through third-party countries like Kazakhstan or Turkey?
I mean, that's what Interpol is for, but they have limited funds to police, criminal stuff around the world that it would have already made it to its destination by the time they've learned about it. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know, to be perfectly honest, to what you can do to advance stuff like that.
Um, what we have over here, increased due diligence on partners in transit points, use tracking and verification technologies for sensitive shipments, collaborate with international regulatory bodies to close loopholes, implement internal compliance audits to ensure goods aren't diverted to sanction end users. That's what we got. That's what we got. That's what we got. Moving on to the next one. Um, Give me one moment. Um, Staffing shortages may cause more U.S. flights delays as government shutdown reaches the seventh day. So, as the U.S. federal government shutdown enters its seventh day, air travel across the nation has experienced significant disruptions, affecting thousands of passengers and raising concerns about both safety and efficiency. Airports airports and air traffic control centers are grappling with critical staffing shortages as many employees, including air traffic controllers and Transportation Security Administration (TSA) officers, are required to work without pay while federal appropriations remain stalled. The consequences are already being felt in major hubs such as Chicago, O'Hare, Nashville, Dallas, Philadelphia, and experts warn that these issues could intensify over the coming weeks, particularly as the holiday travel season approaches. The Federal Aviation Administration, the FAA, has already reported that over 3,500 flights were delayed on Tuesday alone, yesterday, with more than 570 delays at Chicago O'Hare and over 200 at Nashville International Airport. Other major hubs, including Dallas, Fort Worth, and Philadelphia, have also seen a sharp increase in delays. To mitigate risks, the FAA has implemented safety measures such as slowing traffic into affected airports, which inevitably lengthens wait times for passengers. In some cases, nearby airports' traffic control centers, like Memphis Center, have assumed approach control responsibilities airports in for airports struggling with understaffing. Reports indicate that in certain regions, staffing levels have dropped by up to 50%, largely due to increased sick calls, financial stress, and psychological strain for working without pay. Aviation analysis note that even small delays can cascade into system-wide disruptions, which flight schedules push back by hours, planes missing connecting slots, passengers facing multiple rescheduled flights. For travelers, this has meant long lines, extended waiting periods, and a heightened frustration. All while essential personnel try to manage an already overburdened system. Uh, Approximately 13,000 air traffic controllers and 50,000 TSA officers are considered essential and are required to continue working despite shutdown. According to federal guidelines, while their dedication keeps air travel operational, many of these workers face mounting financial strain, particularly as the first missed paycheck is expected on October 14th, with a full missed paycheck slated for October 28th. Union leaders warn that the prolonged financial pressure may exacerbate sick calls and absenteeism. I know that's a weird word how they wrote that. Absenteeism. Further stretching already thin staffing levels. Aviation safety experts have expressed concern that stress, fatigue, and absenteeism among controllers. Sorry about that, man. Got something in my throat today. Okay, here we go. Further stretching already thin staffing, aviation safety experts have expressed concerns that stress, fatigue, and absenteeism among controllers could pose risk to both air traffic safety and operational efficiency. Though there have been no major safety incidents reported to date. TSA officers who are tasked with maintaining airport security under increasing strain are experiencing heightened stress, often working long hours without overtime pay. Passengers have reported longer security lines, slower baggage screening, and tense interactions with staff under pressure. Union representatives are arguing the government to address the human and operational costs of enforcing or forcing essential workers to operate without pay. The staffing crisis is not solely the result of the shutdown. Experts point out that the FAA is currently about 3,500 controllers below its target staffing level, and training new personnel is a long, complex process. Recruitment and onboarding of air traffic controllers can take several years, meaning staffing gap cannot be quickly resolved. Previous budget cuts and mass layoffs have also contributed to the current strain on the system. Political tensions have further complicated the response. For Transportation Security Sean Duffy has blamed Democrats for the shutdown, while California Governor Gavin Newsom and House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries have disputed that claim, creating a public narrative of finger pointing rather than actionable solutions. Airlines and airports are left to manage disruptions independently, negotiating flight schedules, staffing adjustments, and customer communication on the fly. Analysis warns that without bipartisan cooperation, the aviation system could face even more severe disruptions, particularly as holiday travel approaches when millions of Americans will be flying across the country. Advice for travelers. Check flight status before heading to the airport. Delays and cancellation are widespread, can happen with little warning. Expect longer lines and slower service at TSA checkpoints as officers are working under extreme pressure. Allow extra time for security screenings and onboard procedures or inboarding procedures. Be patient and understanding towards airport staff who are essential workers operating without pay. Consider alternative travel plans when possible, including changing airport flights or dates to minimize the risk of being stranded. Travelers are also encouraged to monitor updates from airlines and sign up for text or email alerts regarding flight changes. Flexibility will be key until then the shutdown is resolved and staffing levels return to normal. My discussion questions to this topic is: should essential workers be required to work without pay during government shutdowns, even for critical services like aviation? We already had touched that in the first segment. Let me know what you guys think about it. How can the federal government better plan for traffic contingencies to avoid widespread travel disruptions? Do you got an answer for that one? Did we talk about that?
I actually do not have an answer for that one, believe it or not.
Wow, holy crap! What we got over here is the government can implement several strategies: cross-training employees, establishing emergency staffing rosters, leveraging temporary or contract staff, investing in technology and automation um, to kind of reduce reliance on human intervention for routine but critical tasks like air traffic monitoring and TSA screening, which I kind of don't agree. I don't agree in automation. That's going to be taking all of our jobs very soon. Developing clear communication protocols with airlines and the public to minimize confusion during disruption. The next question is: what responsibilities do federal agencies have to maintain public safety during prolonged shutdowns? Federal agencies are obligated to prioritize life saving and safety critical functions, even if its funding lapses. Uh, this includes ensuring air traffic control remains operational, maintain law enforcement and emergency response uh, capabilities, providing essential health and social services where possible, communicating transparently about which services are limited and how the public can safely navigate the disruption. Agencies must balance operational, community, legal limitations, and staff well being while safeguarding citizens, which is why contingency planning and prioritization are key. Let me know what you guys think about those questions. I got a couple more here, actually. Give me a second. My next question is: how should airlines and airports prepare for political or administrative disruptions that affect operations? We got. What are we? Where are we on? Why is it? Do you got anything on that? Develop contingency plans for staffing shortages, security delays, and air traffic control disruptions. Uh, these are the measures that they should take, which we already did talk about that. Why is that repeating again itself? Thank you, DACA team. DACA team was doing so good until now. Way to go. We're just going to move on to the next segment, ladies and gentlemen. Kentucky lawsuit. Roblox failed to protect children on its popular online gaming platform. In a significant legal development, Kentucky Attorney General Russell Coleman has filed a lawsuit against Roblox Corporation, accusing the online gaming platform of failing to protect children from predators and exposing them to inappropriate content. The lawsuit filed in Madison Circuit Court alleges that Roblox has become a playground for predators and with insufficient safety measures to shield its young users' base. The 68-page complaint outlines several key allegations, like lack of effective age verification. The lawsuit claims that Roblox age verification processes are inadequate, allowing predators to pose as a child and engage in inappropriate interactions. Also, inadequate content moderation. The platform is accused of permitting the existence of violent and sexually explicit games, including assassination simulators and other disturbing content. Failure to inform parents. The lawsuit asserts that Roblox has not adequately informed parents about the potential dangers their children may encounter on the platforms. Attorney General Coleman emphasized that there's issues have persisted for years, with Roblox allegedly prioritizing profit over user safety. He stated for years Roblox has ignored this crisis so it could continue turning a profit. Real world impacts here. The lawsuit highlights several instances where children were exposed to harmful content and interaction on Roblox, like Assassination Simulator, games depicting the assassination of public figures such as conservative activist Charlie Kirk were accessible to young users. Sexual exploitation. Predators allegedly used the platform to groom and exploit minors, with some instances leading to the real world harm. These cases underscore the potential dangers of online platforms that fail to implement robust safety measures. In response to the lawsuit, Roblox Corporation has stated that it has implemented several safety features, including AI moderation, parental controls, and chat filters. The company also announced plans to introduce additional safeguards, such as facial age estimation technology. However, critics argue that these measures are insufficient and have called for more stringent protection. The lawsuit has sparked widespread discussion about the responsibilities of online platform in protecting young users. Advocacy groups and lawmakers are arguing for stronger regulations to ensure the safety of children on digital platforms. Now, moving on to the questions. Oop. Where is it? What responsibilities do online platforms have in protecting children from inappropriate content and interactions? What do we got?
Well, we all knew that this was, you know, happening, like, and it was gonna come. Like,
What up, Cut?
they blatantly ignored it. I mean, when they put out the whole entire thing saying, "Oh, well, we're gonna put a, age verification room for adult dating in our game," like, we all knew at that point that it was basically just a time bomb that was gonna get ready to go off. It was just a matter of when it was gonna happen. So this is no surprise at this point in time.
Shout out to Eddie Weber. I just sent you a message back, Eddie Weber. I want that red rum hat that you got, Red Rum Industries. Make sure you send me the hat. I'll do the sponsor here. I want it in red and I want it in large. Black hat. Thanks. Red letters. Red letters. The black hat and the red letters, but that's what we need. That's what we want. Shout out to Eddie Weber. Yeah, sorry. Let's move on to that next question real quick. Did you ask me a question? Don't want to miss
No, I
it.
did not.
No, okay. How can parents and guardians effectively monitor and control their children online activities? Parents can take actions by. What do you think? I think parental
I
control
mean,
software.
let's all be honest. When we were kids, our parents monitored what the hell we bought and
Yeah, our
what
parents back
we.
in the day monitored everything we bought. I mean,
Yeah,
I
so
did bad by.
I think it's
Go ahead.
just weak parenting. Like, let's be honest here.
Eddie Weber, his answer is considering some of the approved material in some of our children's libraries, how it's able to be censored. Our kids are just about doomed. It's about right. My answers to that was using parental control software to set limits on content and screen time, which I do that with my daughter now. I give her only like an hour or two a fortnight on her Nintendo, and still, that gets me worried. Even just that little bit of time, I bet every other parent can agree. Educating children about digital safety and privacy, maintaining open communications about their online experiences, periodically reviewing devices, apps, and accounts for unsafe behavior or interactions. We do everything that says right here, ladies and gentlemen, in our house. We are Hitler here.
Yeah, I mean, I really like. I wasn't even allowed to have a cell phone until I was like 13 or 14.
I mean, that's the difference now, though. I mean, I'm gonna say it. I didn't have a cell phone. I mean, I had a cell phone briefly for a few months because my mom was gonna get another phone, so with another new number, so she gave me a phone. But um, it only lasted a few months, and that was it. Then then we had to do that thing like we are '90s kids. We'll call a friend, yo, hey, we're gonna meet at so and so park. I'll see you in like 15 minutes.
Yeah,
Something
and,
like
and
that.
mine was only for emergencies and for letting my parents know if I was staying at school for after school activities or if I was going over a friend's house directly after school. Literally the only things that phone was meant for. Because it was like a basic, like, bitch, like, uh, flip phone.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I remember I had these phones. I don't know if you guys remember. The people are watching. It's the phone. It was just like a brick like this, and then it was like the front of
Oh,
the
the
screen,
Nokia.
and then you can just push it up. Remember the one that would just slide? It was like a brick
Oh,
phone, but
yeah, yeah,
then
I know what
just
you're
like the
talking about.
front
Yeah.
panel will move up, and then you can have the keyboard where what I mean. If you wanted to write, you had to hit the button like 3 times or 4 times for a certain
Yeah, yeah.
letter. Yeah, yeah. Those text messages took forever to do. Um, but anyway, the point I'm trying to get to is I didn't get a phone after that until I started working when I was in sophomore year and making enough, what I mean, making enough money to be able to afford it. But yeah, that's when I can say that I finally got my own phone then. So, how can legislation keep pace with the rapid development of online technologies to protect vulnerable users? What do you think?
I'm, I don't really know.
Well, the
Like,
legislation should be adaptive and proactive, right? Don't you think?
I mean, yeah, but then once you start getting adaptive legislation, you start getting all the funky people that are like, do that, blah, 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 put this in, put that in, and it's like, I, I don't know there, like, that's one of those ones, like, it's like, I really don't know on that one.
Oh, where'd it go? Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Okay. Where was I on this? What the heck? Oh, there it is. Um, did I already ask this question? How can legislation keep pace?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, that was it. That's all the questions on that. Make sure you guys leave me a comment and let me know what you guys think. And we'll always go back and check and read it so we know what the topic was about, and then we have our discussions with it with you. Okay, so over the weekend we forgot to mention a tragedy on Monday. Over the weekend, a 2-year-old boy got killed by some dogs in an unlicensed daycare. Devastating incident occurred in Valdosta, Georgia, on October 4th. I think that was Saturday, when a 2-year-old Kamir Jones was fatally attacked by two Rottweilers at an unlicensed daycare run by a 48-year-old Stacy Wheeler Cobb. The tragedy has sparked outrage across Georgia and nationwide, raising serious concerns about child care safety, animal control, and government oversight. According to the police reports, the attack occurred around 3:45 p.m. on October 4th at Cobb's home on Pecan Drive, where she operated her daycare. Investigators say that Cobb left Kamer unattended for 2 hours while taking a nap. During that time, the child somehow accessed the backyard, opened a kennel containing two large Rottweilers, and was attacked. Neighbors described hearing screams and commotion, prompting a 911 emergency responder, a 911 call. And then emergency responders arrived to find Kamer tragically deceased, while Cobb typically cared for up to 10 children. Keimer was the only child present that day. Investigators confirmed that Cobb had allowed the dogs roam freely in areas accessible to the children, a decision now considered a direct factor in the fatal attack. Sorry about that. The following incident, Staley Cobber. Oh, following the incident, Stacy Wheeler Cobb was arrested and faces second-degree murder and second-degree cruelty to children charges. The dog involved, along with a third dog on the property, were taken into custody by Lowndes County Animal Control. Authorities have called the situation entirely preventable, citing negligence and disregard for safety protocols. Cobb's daycare was unlicensed, meaning it was not subject to inspections or safety oversight by the Georgia Department of Early Care and Learning, highlighting a gap in regulations that advocates say must be addressed immediately. Officials have warned that this tragedy could have been avoided had proper safety guards been in place. The Valdosta community has responded with shock and grief. Keimer's mother, Adriana Jones, shared her devastation publicly, stating that she is struggling to comprehend the loss of her young son. She launched a GoFundMe campaign to cover funeral expenses, which has raised over $14,000 in just a few days. Local officials have called for stricter regulations on in-home daycare providers, emphasizing that unlicensed operations can put children's life at risk. Parents in the community have also spoken out, urging for more transparency and oversight for any provider caring for young children. This strategy has brought renewed attention to the importance of daycare licensing and safety standards. Licensed daycare centers in Georgia must comply with strict regulations, including staff-to-child ratios to ensure supervision, background checks for all caregivers, emergency preparedness and safety training, animal restrictions to prevent dangerous interactions. Unlicensed facilities, however, often operate without inspections, training requirements, or safety audits, leaving children to increased risks. Advocates are calling for statewide audits for unlicensed providers and stricter enforcement measures to prevent similar tragedies in the future. In addition to child oversight, the incident highlights the dangers posed by large unrestrained dogs in home caring for children. Rottweilers are strong, protective dogs, and when they are left unsupervised with a toddler, the consequences can be catastrophic. Local animal control authorities stress that the dogs in child care settings should be contained or removed from child accessible areas, and parents should inquire about animal presence before enrolling children. This tragic event underscores several critical issues: unlicensed daycare risk, child safety protocols, animal regulations in child care, public awareness, which, the incident also raises ethical and societal questions about accountability and prevention. How many unlicensed facilities operate unnoticed? How can states better enforce regulations without overburdening legitimate home-based childcare providers? Now, here's the question to everybody for my ending discussion about the topic. Should all in-home daycare providers be required to obtain a license, regardless of size? Yes. Yes, that's a no-brainer. Licensing ensures basic safety training and oversight standards, regardless of how small the daycare is. Every child deserves the same level of protection, whether it's in a large center or in a home setting. However, smaller providers often argue that licensing is costly and bureaucratic. A balanced approach might include tiered licensing, streamlined for small operations, but still enforcing safety requirements like background checks, CPR training, and inspections. And then my next question is, what role should animal control play in preventing tragedies in homes with daycare operations? Animal control agencies should be part of licensing and the inspection process when animals are present. That means verifying vaccinations, assessing temperaments, setting limits on the number of type of animals allowed in licensed daycare homes, coordination between child care regulators and animal control could prevent avoidable incidents involving pets and children. Next question is, how can parents ensure the safety of children in unlicensed childcare facilities? Parents can request reference and background checks, visit the home in person, and look for visibly safety measures, gauge clean play areas, first aid kits, ask about emergency plans like animal policies and who else lives in or visits the home, verifying whether the provider is registered or monitored by any local authority, even if it not formally licensed. And then next question: should stricter penalties be enforced for negligence that results in child fatalities? Yes. I think yes. When negligence directly leads to child death, penalties should reflect the severity of the breach of trust. Stricter laws can serve as both deterrence and accountability mechanisms. However, they should distinguish between genuine accidents and clear negligence, ensuring the justice is appropriate. Oh, sorry, proportionate, and not reaction, right? Reactionary. And then my final question: what broader reforms should be implemented to protect children from preventable accidents in daycare environments? Reforms could include universal safety standards, regular inspection and surprise visits, mandatory training, a national registry, public education campaigns, and many other things. What you think of that?
Uh,
How can you just go to bed when you're taking care of somebody else's child?
I honestly don't know. I'm glad she got arrested.
Yeah, I mean, those dogs are dead. They're dead right now. All three dogs, even if the third dog didn't do anything, they're all fucking dead. Ah, may that child rest in peace.
Unfortunately, Jay, and unfortunately for the podcast, I have company coming over, shockingly, that I did not know about, in like the next 5 minutes. So I'm gonna have to drop out. So before I go, though, I will give a daily reminder so that you guys will not miss that.
Hit us with a
Um,
daily reminder. Revelations
uh,
daily reminder.
the daily reminder is, now that AI is taking over, we must all make sure to fight against those clankers so that we can keep our jobs and our livelihood. That is all.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. You have yourself a very good evening. We'll catch you tomorrow.
Okay, everyone. Hopefully, you all enjoy the solo Unbound with Jay. Try not to go crazy with me not being here. I will be on the next episode.
Go tell Prophet if he's available real quick. Tell him that we're almost done, but give me a little hand with the
Okay,
questions.
I will do that.
All right, man. Thank you again, and have yourself a good night, Revelations. Thank you.
Yeet.
Yeet. Moving along now, ladies and gentlemen, until hopefully Mr. Prophet, the Prophet, joins us. Venezuelan defense's minister warns of potential U.S. Special Forces operations. Caracas, Venezuela, on October 8th, Venezuelan Defense Minister Vladimir Pedrino Lopez issued a stark warning about escalating tensions with the United States. Speaking in a televised address, Pedrino Lopez suggested that the U.S. could deploy special forces to carry out targeted assassinations and sabotage critical infrastructures in Venezuela, including the electrical grid, gas facilities, and transportation networks. Quote, there are many ways to attack and disturb us, not just through a military attack from the Caribbean, Padrino Lopez said. He described the potential actions as disruptive and urged Venezuelans to remain vigilant and prepared for a range of possible threats. Um, Military Preparations Independence Plan 200. In response to warning, the Venezuelan government activated the Independence Plan 200, a series of military exercises designed to protect strategic assets across the country, such as Interior Minister Diosdado Cabello emphasized that Venezuela is mobilizing forces in coordinated manner to resist any potential attack. President Nicolas Maduro stated that the drills include 27 specific operational tasks aimed at securing defense zones, and critical infrastructure. The exercise reportedly include fortifying key energy and transport facilities, increasing surveillance of borders and ports, and rapid deployment of ground forces in vulnerable areas. The government frames these drills as both a defensive precaution and a signal national strength. Padrino Lopez's warning comes after U.S. military operations in the Caribbean officially targeting drug trafficking networks. On October 3rd, 2025, U.S. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth announced a strike that killed 4 individuals identified as narco-terrorists aboard a vessel near Venezuelan waters. The boat was reportedly affiliated with terrorist organization and involved in trafficking narcotics to the United States. The White House confirmed that such operations will continue until threats to U.S. citizens and interests are neutralized, while no official U.S. plans indicate a land incursion. These strikes have fueled Venezuelan fears of potential special operations on its soil. President Maduro has reportedly accused the U.S. for using drug charges as pretext of political interference. He warned that any direct attack would trigger national mobilization, calling on both military and civilians to prepare for defense. Analysis note that Venezuelan government often frames external threats to consolidate domestic support. In this case, the combination of military drills and strong rhetoric is intended to demonstrate readiness while projecting authority internally and externally. Experts and diplomats warn that tensions could destabilize the Caribbean and Latin America, even if the U.S. operations remain limited to encounter narcotic efforts, as miscalculations or accidental escalations could trigger a broader conflict. Diplomatic channels remain critical to avoid further destabilization. Venezuela's militarization signals difference, but also raises concerns about potential region consequences. Internal observers urge both countries to exercise caution and engage in dialogue to prevent escalation. Not my discussion questions about that. Even though I know I don't have my main man Revelation here, we will answer these questions for him because that's how we work here. If we have to go solo. The first question is, how credible are the Venezuela's claims of potential U.S. Special Forces operations? Let me know what you guys think of that. What's going on here? I need to know what you guys think about that. Could the U.S. counter narcotic operations inadvertently escalate into a larger military confrontation? What role should diplomacy play in preventing regional destabilization? How does political narratives in Venezuela influence public perception and military policy? And what balance should the U.S. strike between counter narcotics objectives and avoiding direct confrontation with foreign militaries? You guys let me know in the comments what you guys think. And then, like I said, like I always say, we will go through it as soon as it comes tomorrow. I'll go through the comments, and then we'll read them tomorrow. The next segment is the tragic incident at Disneyland. A guest dies after riding in the haunted mansion in Anaheim, California on Monday, October 6th. A female guest in her 60s tragically passed away after riding Disneyland's Haunted Mansion attraction, currently featuring the seasonal Haunted Mansion holiday overlay theme to the Nightmare Before Christmas. The incident occurred around 6:30 p.m. local time when the woman was found unresponsive after disembarking from the ride. Disney security personnel promptly administered CPR until Anaheim Fire and Rescue paramedics arrived at the scene. The guest was then transported to a local hospital where she was later pronounced dead. Authorities have indicated that the death appears to be a result of a medical episode, and there was no operational issues with the ride, which reopened shortly after that. The Haunted Mansion is a slow-moving, family-friendly dark ride that has been a staple of Disneyland since 1969. The attraction features eerie yet whimsical scenes, including the iconic stretching room and the ghost host. The current seasonal overlay Haunted Mansion holiday introduced elements from the Tim Burton's movie The Nightmare Before Christmas, adding a festive yet spooky atmosphere to the ride. The incident adds to growing public concerns about theme park safety. Just weeks earlier, a man died on the Stardust Racers ride at Universal Epic Universe in Orlando after suffering blunt force trauma. News outlets are drawing comparison between two tragic events, highlighting the need for ongoing safety evaluations and transparency in theme park operations. Disneyland has not yet issued a detailed public statement regarding the incident. The company has confirmed that they are cooperating with authorities and have expressed condolences to the guest family. As the investigation continues, further information may be released. Now, we got some discussion questions here for my Disney fanatics. We got the theme park safety. What measures can theme parks implement to enhance guest safety and prevent similar incidents? Theme parks can strengthen safety through a combination of technology, training, and transparency. Regular inspections, real-time monitoring system, mandatory staff retraining, clear signage and safety, stricter maintenance logs, emergency drills. Those are the things that they can do for that. The next question is transparency. How can theme parks improve communications with the public regarding safety incidents? Transparency builds trust and can prevent information. Parks can do the following. Publicly report incidents, provide immediate statements, partner with local authorities, offer public safety briefings, and avoid or defensive language. Clarity and accountability foster credibility. What's up, producer Mike? Jay Morales is Unbound. Hell yeah. What's up with your buddy, Mark Sanchez? Let me know that is there a latest update? We're going to go through that at the end of all these topics. We're almost there. Where was I here, though? Yeah, so that was that. The guest awareness. What role do guests play in ensuring their own safety while enjoying attractions? Guests are responsibly by following posted safety instructions, adhering to health and height restrictions, securing personal belongings, reporting unsafe conditions, and supervising children closely. So, yeah, those are the main questions to that topic. Also, reports just recently, in the last couple of days, of Dolly Parton's health concerns. She claps back today on a video stating that I ain't dead yet. Nashville, Tennessee country music legend Dolly Parton has reassured fans about her health following recent concerns sparked by her sister's request for prayers. In a candid video shared on social media, Parton, 79, addressed the rumors and clarified her condition. She humorously stated, "Do I look sick to you?" and emphasized, "I ain't dead yet." Parton explained that her health issues were related to neglecting her well-being during and after her late husband Carl Dean's prolonged illness and passing earlier this year. She acknowledged undergoing minor treatments at the Vanderbilt University Medical Center, including procedures for kidney stones, and had to postpone several engagements, including her Las Vegas residency and a Dollywood event. Earlier, Parton's sister, Frida Parton, had posted a message on Facebook asking fans to pray for Dolly, stating that she had been a little under the weather. Frida later clarified that her request was not meant to alarm anyone, but was simply a supportive gesture motivated by her belief in the power of prayer. She expressed confidence in Dolly's recovery and thanked fans for their support. Despite these health setbacks, Parton remains optimistic and committed to her career. She reassured fans that she is not retiring and plans to return to perform after a period of rest and recovery. Her Las Vegas residency has been rescheduled for September 2026, and she continues to work in various projects, including a new stage musical based on her life, which premiered in Nashville earlier this year. And yeah, my discussion questions about this topic is, give me a second here. Health and public life. How should public figures balance their personal health challenges with their public personas? Let's see what we got. What we got here? Let's see. Well, while I find this here, let me see something. Producer Mike just woke up, had a mushroom-riddled day today, and was watching the protests in Portland. But real shit hasn't started yet. Too early. We're going to bring you the facts tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen, of what's happening in Portland, Oregon. All right, public figures walk a fine line between privacy and transparency. They aren't obligated to share every detail, but openness, when they choose it, can raise awareness, reduce stigma, and humanize them. The key is control. They should decide what, when, and how to disclose, balancing public curiosity with personal boundaries. Support teams and PR advisors can help ensure updates and respectful, factual, and not exploitative things. The next question is media sensitivity. What responsibility do family members have when sharing health information about loved ones publicly? Family members should prioritize dignity, consent, and accuracy. This role protects the individual, not to feed speculations or public drama. Before releasing details, they should ask, does the person consent to this being shared? Will this information help or harm their recovery and privacy? Is the tone empathetic and respectful? Families often become the public voice during crises, so sensitive and restraint are crucial. Fans' expectations. How can fans support their favorite artists during times of health challenges without contributing to under pressure? Fans can show meaningful support by respecting privacy, sending encouragement, understanding delays or cancellations, focusing on empathy over entitlement. Remembering that artists are people, and true supporters means giving space, not adding pressure. That's our discussions on that topic. Now, our next discussion is Bad Bunny's catches foul ball at the Yankees playoff yesterday. Uh, in Bronx, New York, on October 7th, yesterday, global music sensation Bad Bunny had a memorable moment at Yankee Stadium during Game 3 of the American League Division Series between the New York Yankees and the Toronto Blue Jays. Um, Seated in front seat row behind home plate, Bad Bunny, whose real name is Benito Martinez Ocasio, was in prime position when Blue Jays outfielder Anthony Santander uh, hit a foul ball into the stands during the third inning. Despite protective netting, the ball sailed over and bounced off another fence before landing near Bad Bunny. He shielded his head with his arms as the ball descended, then scooped it up with a smile, holding it up triumphantly for the crowd. The moment was captured and shared widely, quickly going viral on social media. The Yankees, facing elimination, rallied from 6-1 deficit to secure a 9-6 victory, forcing a Game 4 back in the Bronx. Key contributions came from Aaron Judge, who hit a game-tying three-run homer, and Jess Shishom, yeah, Shyshom Jr., who added a solo shot. Judge performance was highlighted as a defining moment in postseason. The game attracted several notable figures, including Hall of Famer CC Sabathia, director Spike Lee, and politicians such as Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and Cordis Sliwa. Bad Bunny presence added to the star-studded atmosphere, with fans and media outlets highlighting his unexpected fan moment. Discussion questions about this celebrity. Whoa. And that's the docket team. There we go. We're heading to the end, folks. We're heading to the end. My ending discussion questions are, for the trillionth time, if I can freaking find it. Here it is. Celebrity influence. How do celebrity appearances at sport events impact fan engagement and media coverage? When celebrities show up courtside or in the stands, it's more than just a photo op. It becomes a cultural crossover moment. Their presence can elevate to events' visibility, turning a regular season game into a national headline. Camera pans to them, social media lights up, and suddenly people who wouldn't normally care about the game are tuning in. It's symbolic relationship. The team gets buzz, the celebrity gets exposure, and the fans get a little extra spectacle. But it also raises questions. Does the focus on the fame distract from the sport? Or does it help bring more eyes and energy into the arena? Next question is viral moments. What role do viral moments play in bringing the gap between entertainment and sports? Viral clips, from a celebrity shocked reaction on the Jumbotron to a wild halftime performance, are the new currency of connection. They blur the lines between entertainment and athletics, making the experience shareable, memorable, and endlessly replayable. These moments can create common ground between audiences who might not follow sports at all. However, the challenge lies in maintaining authenticity, ensuring that the spectacle doesn't overshadow the athleticism that made the event meaningful in the first place. Now, the next question, final question to this topic, fan experiences. How can unique fan experiences like catching a foul ball enhance the overall atmosphere of a game? So moments like catching a foul ball, being on a kiss cam, or getting players' autographs tap into something timeless, the personal connection between fans and the game. Um, these experiences remind everyone that sports are communal, not just about stats and scores, but about stories, shared emotions. When fans feel part of the action, stadiums become living theaters of energy, where every person contributes to the atmosphere. That's the magic. The fans aren't just watching history, they're helping create it. And that's that topic, ladies and gentlemen. Now moving into a important topic here uh, that has been trending all day since it's been posted. I think if it was today, it was posted or yesterday. Um, Well, let's start it. In Nashville, Tennessee, a country music artist Zach Bryan is facing controversy following the release of a snippet from his upcoming song Bad News, which includes lyrics critical of U.S. immigration and customs enforcement, ICE, and references the erosion of American values. The lyrics sparked outrage in the 30-second teaser shared on social media. Bryan sings, quote, and ICE is gonna come bust down your door. Try to rebuild a house no one builds no more. But I got a telephone. Kids are all scared and all alone. The song includes lines about fading American ideals. Quote, got some bad news, the fading of the red, white, and blue. These lyrics have drawn sharp criticism from conservative commentators and fans, with some accusing Bryan of being unpatriotic. In a statement posted on Instagram, Bryan clarified that the song was written months ago and emphasized the need for full context to be understood. He expressed his love for country and stated that the song aims to address the divisions within it. Quote, this song is about how much I love this country and everyone in it, more than anything. When when you hear the rest of the song, you will understand the full context that hits on both sides of the aisle. Bryan also criticized the diver the sorry, the divisive nature of narratives pushed through social media, stating that the backlash only highlights the country polarization. The song has elicited strong from political figures. Department of Homeland Security Kristi Noem expressed her disapproval, stating she had not listened to Bryan's music and was glad that she hasn't. Um, Quote, that makes me very happy that I never gave you a single penny to enrich your lifestyle. She further criticized the song as disrespectful to law enforcement and those who defend the country. The Department of Homeland Security also used Bryan's 2020 song, Revival, in video promoting ICE and Border Patrol actions, which many interpreted as direct response to Bryan's criticism. Uh, discussion. My ending discussion questions here to this mini topic, real quick. Oh man. So, artistic expression versus political commentary. At what point does an artist's political message overshadows their artistic expression? Excuse me, real quick. Uh, so art has always been a mirror of society, but in today's hyper polarized world, that mirror can quickly turn into a spotlight. The line between expression and agenda often blurs when political messages dominate the creative space, shifting the audience focus from the art itself to the controversy it stirs. The question becomes: can the art still stand on its own merit, or does the message consume the medium? That's the question. The next question is, though, public backlash. How should artists respond to public backlash over political charged content? When artists take a stand, backlash is almost inevitable. Um, some double down, embracing their platform as a megaphone for truth. Others retreat, realizing the intent doesn't always equal impact. The real challenge lies in navigating authenticity versus accountability. Staying true to the message while being mindful of how it lands. After all, the court of public opinion, silence and defiance both speak volume. Next question: role of social media. What role does social media play amplifying or distorting the impact of artistic works? Social media can turn a song pointing a performance. Sorry, social media can turn a song, painting, or performance into a cultural flashpoint overnight. Platforms amplify voices, but they also distort nuisance. A lyric can be clipped, a quote can be twisted, uh, and before long, context is lost. The result are the result art becomes a battleground where virality um, virality outweighs interception. The digital age has made every artistic statement both louder and more fragile at the same time. And then final question here: audience connection. How can artists maintain authentic fan engagement amid political controversy? As true fans often connect to feelings behind the art, not just the message. When controversy hits, it's the test that loyalty. Tests the loyalty, and artists who communicate openly and stay transparent about their intentions tend to preserve trust, even when opinions differ. It's about turning confrontation into conversation and ensuring that art continues to be a bridge, not a barrier. So that's on that. And now on some important news here by Robin Williams' daughter, Zelda, in Los Angeles, California. In a heartfelt plea, Zelda Williams, daughter of late actor Robin Williams, has asked the public to cease sending her AI generated videos that mimic her father's voice and likeness. The request comes amid growing concerns over the ethical implications of using artificial intelligence to create the voices and images of deceased individuals without consent. On October 7th, yesterday, Zelda Williams took to Instagram to express her distress over the trend of AI recreations of her father's persona. She wrote, quote, "Please stop sending me AI videos of dad. Stop believing I want to see it or that I'll understand. I don't, and I won't. If you're just trying to troll me, I've seen way worse. I'll restrict and move on." She further criticized the practice, stating, quote, "To watch legacies of real people be condensed down to this vaguely look and sounds like them, so that's enough. Just so other people can churn out horrible TikTok slop, puppeteering them is maddening." Zelda described such AI content as disgusting, overpressed hot dogs made from real people's lives, emphasizing that these creations are not art but rather a form of exploitation for online attention. Zelda's criticism aligns with broader concerns within the entertainment industry regarding the use of AI to replicate deceased performers. In a previous statement from October 2023, she expressed that the use of AI to recreate her father's voice was personally disturbing and raised ethical questions about consent and sanctity of an individual's legacy. The Screen Actors Guild American Foundation of Television and Radio Artists, the SAG-AFTRA, also voiced opposition to the unauthorized use of AI in recreating actors' likeness, highlighting the need for protection against such practices. Zelda's call to end the use of AI-generated videos of her father has sparked a wider conversation about the intersection of technology, ethics, and respect for individuals' legacies. While some fans are and creators are urged to are sorry, and creators are urged that these AI recreations are form of tribute. Many, including Zelda, contend that they reduce complex human lives to shallow digital limitations or imitations. The debate continues to evolve as technology advances, raising important questions about consent, artistic integrity, and the boundaries of digital representation. We got a few discussion ending points here. Oh man, we're heading to the end. We're heading to the end. All right. So the first question is ethical boundaries. At what point does the use of AI to recreate a deceased individual likeness cross an ethical line? Uh, so the use of AI to bring back a voice, a face, or even performance from someone who passed raises a profound question: Where does respect where does respect end and exploitation begin? Where some view where while some view these recreation as tributes, others see them as digital puppeteering, manipulating someone's image without their true consent. The ethical line may not be about technology itself, uh, but about intent, respect, and the right to rest. On my second question here, consent in the digital age. How should consent be navigated when using AI to replicate voices and images of individuals who can no longer provide it? So, in a world where likeness can be synthesized, a few lines of code, consent becomes both a legal and moral maze. Should states and families hold the authority to decide, or does the right to representation die with the person? Without clear boundaries, we risk turning legacies into intellectual property battles where identity becomes just another digital asset. True ethical innovation must build frameworks that protect memory, not just monetize it. And then on my final question, artistic integrity versus technology or technological innovation. Can AI generate content be considered art, or does it undermine the authenticity of creative expression? Um, Here's my answer. AI challenges the very definition of creativity. When a model generates a voice, a painting, or a song in the style of someone else, it is honoring the original or hijacking the artistry. The answer may depend on whether AI serves as a tool for human imagination or replaces it entirely. The future of art may lie not in rejecting AI, but in setting ethical limits uh, that it preserve emotions, meaning, and intent in the creative process. So let me know what you guys think of those questions, and leave me a comment below, and we'll go through it tomorrow. I think this is the final, right? Is this the final one? Oh yeah, this is it. Yeah. Let's make sure that this is actually it. Okay. Yeah, we're heading to the last of the last, to the last. No, I think that is I think that was the last. Huh. All right, here we go. We're moving to the last segment here. The 5 sleep profiles. Uh, the study identified 5 sleep profiles, each characterized by specific sleep patterns and associated with distinct health and cognitive outcomes. I think, producer Mike, I think you'll like this one if you're still here, bud. General poor sleep. Individuals in this group reported low sleep satisfaction, prolonged sleep onset, frequent disturbances, and daytime impairment. They also exhibit higher levels of anxiety, anger, stress, along with poor mental health outcomes. Sleep resilience, despite experiencing emotional instability and attention difficulties, individuals in this profile did not report poor sleep, demonstrating resilience to deep disturbances. What is going on here? This seems like it didn't even bring over the whole. Uh, we'll just read these out, unless it did it backwards. Anyway, let me just give you the rundown of what this is about. Okay, we're talking about people need to start sleeping because we're causing our own problems with mental health. It gets it gets us all riled up. days that we notice that we're just upset and mad because, of this and that and the third, but it's because it's poor sleep. That's why you need to use sometimes sleep aid. This profile is characterized by frequent use of sleep medication and was associated with lower social satisfaction. Short sleep duration. Individuals in this group had shorter sleep durations but maintained cognitive performance, suggesting a potential adaptation to limited sleep. Sleep disturbance. This profile was marked by sleep issues that impacted cognition and mental health, and highlighting the detrimental effects of disrupted sleep patterns. So each sleep profile exhibited unique patterns of brain network organization. For instance, individuals with general poor sleep showed high resting state functional connectivity between subcortical brain regions in both the sensory motor and attention network. These findings suggest that sleep experience are reflected not only in health and behavior, but also in the brain's wiring and activity. The study emphasizes also that the importance of considering the full picture of an individual's sleep to help clinicians make more accurate assessments and guide treatment. By identifying specific sleep profiles, healthcare providers can tailor interventions to address the unique needs of each individual, potentially improving mental health outcomes and overall well being. Before we end the show tonight, ladies and gentlemen, um, I just want to say thank you so much for tuning in tonight. Make sure to hit the subscribe button. Okay. We come on every Monday and Friday. We missed the show yesterday due to technical difficulties and other reasons. Um, this show is also sponsored by the Kayville Hotel and Tavern down in Klein Fetchelsville, Pennsylvania. Go check them out. Seth and Jamie will hook you up and on everything and anything you need, ladies and gentlemen. Let me see. Let me see. Let me see. Is it this one? Yeah, I just noticed I'm muted because I forgot to put my sound into into that, you know, into that template. Now I know I gotta fix it. The point I'm trying to get to is, as you saw, they had the dates and the times for when they're open, um, and their phone number is there as well. Kleinfeltersville, the hotel and tavern, Kayville Hotel and Tavern. We also are on a show called the Producer Mike Presents and the Jessup Legacy. The show is called The Movement. Come and check us out there every Monday at 12 p.m. Eastern Time. Producer Mike and I'm the co-host of the show. Let me get you guys already familiarized again with the show. Mm, with the show and where it's located. Mm. All right, here we go. Every Monday, 12 p.m. Eastern Time. We are on this show right here, ladies and gentlemen. There I am with Steve-O, the infamous Steve-O, the best comedian there is right now, still from Jackass. And here's already several episodes so far that you can come in and check it out, ladies and gentlemen. Producer Mike presents in this Jessup Show Legacy. In our afternoon show called The Movement with me as your co-host. Make sure you come and check it out. Give a subscribe to our good friend, Producer Mike. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have headed into the end of our show. I want you guys to remember mental health is very important as physical health. Prioritizing your emotional and psychological well-being can improve daily functioning, relationships, and overall quality of life. If you or someone you know is struggling with mental health challenges, reach out to a trained professional in the U.S. You can call or text 988 for immediate support through the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. Also, domestic violence is a serious issue that affects millions of Americans. If you or someone you know is experiencing abuse, help is available. Call the 1-800-799-7233 or text START to 88788 for confidential support. Recognizing the signs and taking action can protect lives and provide pathways to safety and recovery. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I want to say thank you for joining us today. Stay informed, stay compassionate, and take care of yourself and those around you. Remember, knowledge, empathy, and action can make a real difference in your life and the lives of others. And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, you have yourself a very, very, very nice evening, and we'll catch you tomorrow. Shout out to the Steve Jessup podcast crew. Eddie Weber, the Bucklands, producer Mike, Steve Jessup, Keith, 5'9" Keith, the Tent Crew, shit, Conan Ryan, why not? Shout out to my dad, the biggest supporter of the show. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, to catch us tomorrow